If you're looking for a good scare this Halloween, we have some recommendations for you. Sean Chandler, a guy who likes to watch movies and TV shows way too much, joins us to talk all about it. All right, Sean, here's what I want to know. Should you or shouldn't watch certain films for Halloween? There are tons of streaming services out there, and you can make your pick from great Halloween choices for horror, suspense, monster films. I want to get your take on these Halloween movies, and I want to run them by streaming services, but you give me one bad one and one good one, okay?
Alrighty.
All right, let's run this down. So let's start with Max, HBO Max.
Alrighty, they've got a bunch of really good ones on there from a bunch of classic franchises. One bad one I'd say skip, this one that came out about 5 years ago called Midsommar. That it stars Florence Pugh, so she's a real hot actress today, so you might see and go, oh, I should check that one out. I really didn't like this one. It's slow. It's like she goes on vacation to this cult in Northern Europe, and then they start killing everybody, but it's about like traumatic relationships. I thought the messaging was bad, and it's just really dull. A couple good ones on there. One of my favorites, the first 4 Scream movies are on there. So if you want a slasher film with a little comedy, Scream's on there. Or if you want to go to old school haunted house, they've got Poltergeist, the classic 80s one that has that, Steven Spielberg flair to it, while having family dynamics, but also being kind of in a spooky, scary house as well. I watched it with my daughter a couple years back, and minus one scene, it's a good entry-level horror film to go with.
I kind of like how you put Scream almost above Poltergeist there, but okay.
Oh, I do. I personally do, because I didn't grow up with Poltergeist. I watched it for the first time just a couple years ago, but both of them great ones to kind of go with there.
That makes sense. You and I, that's our jam. That's our years. Scream. I get that.
All right, our high school years. Those are my formative ones, so I've always been very fond of them.
Yeah. I went on a date. I should not have gone on a date to that film. All right, Hulu Disney. What's a bad one and a good one?
Bad one, I'm going to go with the Haunted Mansion that came out last year, where like it's well made enough, but it's not spooky enough. It's not funny enough. It's not dramatic enough. It tries to be all of them at the same time, and so it's not particularly good at any of them. And also the Hocus Pocus 2 that they did a year or two ago tries to recapture the magic and doesn't do it. But when you're on a Disney Plus, they've got plenty of good family little ones. Watch Halloween Town, that Disney movie from 25 years ago, and my daughter really enjoyed it if you want like a kiddie one. Also, the first Hocus Pocus is on there. If you want something more on the grown-up side, The First Omen from this year. It's a prequel to the classic from the 70s. I went in thinking like, I'm not really interested in this at all. It actually really won me over. It has this nice sense of paranoia, the atmosphere to it, and just plenty of solid scares at the same time.
Love it. All right. Actually, I agree with you on that last one with First Omen. Let's go Amazon. What's good and bad on Amazon?
This was tough because they have so many good ones on there. I was looking, I was like, oh, that's my pick. That's my pick. That's my pick. As for the bad one on there, I'm going to go with The Exorcist Believer from last year. If The First Omen was a really good continuation of an old classic franchise, Exorcist Believer was a really bad one, where by the end of it, it basically turns into like the Exorcist Avengers of different religions. It is so bad, completely misses the point of the original Exorcist, and like was kind of offensive to me on the wrong ways. A good one that's a continuation of a classic horror film, Doctor Sleep. It's a sequel to The Shining, and it has awesome, great character work about Danny growing up and repeating the mistakes of his father and trying to redeem himself while being this creepy Stephen King story with bad people with The Shining, good people with The Shining. So I thought that movie was fantastic.
Sean, I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm just gonna jump to your pick. I want to know, Sean. It could be on Netflix, could be on Tubi, could be on these things. What's your pick?
There's one on Netflix I'm going to go with. It's called You're Next. That it's actually from the director of the latest Godzilla movies, but he started doing these horror films, and it's like this small, contained, isolated survival horror movie at this mansion, and it's like where the final girl fights back against these invaders coming in after everyone else has been killed off. Nice little pleasant surprise. It's called You're Next. It's on Netflix right now, and I just loved it. Like, I literally watched it in the theater, went home, and just recited the plot to it to my wife. I think it came out in 2011, 2012, something like that, but you can see that one on Netflix.
All right. That's one to check out. I follow you on YouTube and social media and stuff. I would have thought You were going to put in Terrifier, but hey, who knows?
Because everyone's already talking about that one, but it is on streaming. You can see it on Tubi right now for free, the original Terrifier. So if you want something real hardcore.
I love it. Sean, hey, thanks a lot for coming in, and we hope to bring you back later on.